you wonderful people. So I just did a video basically talking about editing and just how cringy some of my older videos were, and basically talking about cringy things, and it just made me think about something I thought about before but I never got around to filming it. Was basically talking about one of the things it came back to me as one of the things I find cringiest about myself. It's probably one of the things I hated about myself the most when I was younger, and that's I used to cry a lot about everything. Obviously when you're young you're bound to cry about stuff, but I think I was a very sensitive child, and I would cry about everything. My mom tells me stories about how anytime it came to she was giving me an orange or a cookie and she broke it in half, that basically I'd flip out, roll out on the floor and just start screaming you broke it, you broke it. She'd say no matter where I was at, whether it was at home, in the store, out in public, whatever the case may be, I would flip all out and act like that, and it's kind of one of those things where I'm just I can't, oh, that kind of sucks. You could argue it's okay, you're a kid, so you tend to cry a lot as a kid, but for me, it was beyond just being oh yeah, I cried a lot as a kid. It lasted a long time. There's many instances of me crying about stuff I shouldn't have been crying about. One instance is, I was in the 8th grade, this is me, maybe 13 at the time. I cried on my first day of school in 8th grade because I got lost. That's not something to really cry about, but I guess, a combination of everything. It's oh, this is my first day back in school here in North Carolina. I feel a little all alone. I don't really feel like I know people, even though some of these people at the school are people I knew when I was in elementary school here in North Carolina. But nevertheless, I was a little overwhelmed, and I was telling this teacher I was lost, and I was literally tearing up in front of her. I don't even know if the tears made it past my cheek or whether they just stayed in my eye. I don't remember, but the fact of the matter is I was just oh my God. In retrospect, I'm why was I crying? You got lost. It's okay to ask people for help. Granted, me being who I am, I don't like asking people for help. I felt stupid getting lost, but it's I've never been to this school. I don't know its layout. I don't know where my classes are. I'm such an idiot. I also had this thing recently where I forgot what the conversation was between me. Basically my niece was part of the conversation about her freaking out because she had a nightmare and she was crying or whatever, and she didn't want to sleep alone because of some video she saw on YouTube or whatever. My sister pointed out, the fact is, I'm making fun of my niece, but the fact is that she and my other sister remember seeing me cry when I saw the ending of King Kong. She was saying I was crying and saying oh, they didn't have to kill him. And then said, did I remember that or not? And I was I don't remember that, but it sounds like something I would do, because for one, that's reason why I don't like the movie King Kong. It's just because I think that's just the fact is that they killed him like that. I've never liked the movie King Kong solely for that reason. So it kind of makes sense to me I would react like that, especially back then. Oh, there was another instance I cried too. Basically it was a situation where there was a girl, basically this girl thought I was talking about her. Me and a friend were talking about her, but basically I was reading an Inuyasha manga and I was talking about something specific in the manga. I think it was, essentially it was boob related, and this girl thought I was making fun of her. She told a teacher. It turned into a whole thing, and basically I sat there and cried because the teacher's kind of chewing into me about this whole thing. She's oh, you're up here making fun of someone. I'm I tried to explain. It's no, we were talking about this comic book, and then he was my friend was yeah, but the fact is that because I was an idiot, because I was me, I was just crying and everything, so I went ahead and admitted it. Yeah, we were talking. It's no, don't admit guilt to something you didn't do. I wasn't talking about her. I never referenced her being it was something in the book that I was referencing, talking about boobs or something, but I wasn't talking about her specifically. We were talking specifically about boobs in this in the manga, and that was simply it. But it came up, I guess, as her thinking we were making fun of her boobs or something. I don't know, I don't remember really understand the context, but it's a situation. I'm up there crying. She even was nice enough to get me a tissue, and she's pointed out, she's the teacher's see what happened? She actually, you up here making fun of her, she's giving you a tissue and everything. It's I shouldn't have cried. That was a situation where I should have been wait, you got this whole situation wrong. We're literally just talking about a manga. I wasn't talking about her specifically. It just got flipped out of control. But no, I just sat there and cried because it's at the time I didn't like being yelled at, and at the time too I didn't take up defense for myself. It's me now, I would have been no, you got this wrong. She misinterpreted the situation completely. We weren't even talking about it. It was the comic book. I could show you the comic book. I have it with me. It wasn't even like that. Along that same line, it's basically in 6th grade, a teacher kind of chewed me out, because basically we're in the middle of class or whatever. I forgot we were all working or whatever. And this dude I know named Vincent, who's sitting beside me, is like, yo, like, I don't even know how the conversation came up. He was like, what is a lesbian? So I was like, okay, I know what a lesbian is. So I was like, I'll explain it to you. I don't know why you're asking me now. Basically, I took these 2 girls in our class, like Regina and Rebecca, and used them as an example. I was like, a lesbian would be like if Regina and Rebecca liked each other and were together, essentially. I don't remember my exact phrasing of it. He interpreted that as me calling them lesbians, and then they ended up telling the teachers like, oh yeah, Vincent said that Michael said that we are lesbians. And I was like, wait, what? She took me out in the hallway and everything. I was like, I didn't say they were lesbians. Like, he asked me what a lesbian was. I used them as an example, which I guess granted I should have used. Oh, it's when female A and female B like each other and have romantic feelings for each other. When a girl is attracted to someone of the same sex. So I should have used that as an example, but rather than using actual people within our class. So that was my fault, but you know, the teacher chewed me out, being like, you shouldn't be talking about that anyway. And she's like, basically, I talked about it in a previous video about how I used to be like a safety patrol, like, include something to the video so that you can check it out if you haven't seen it. But essentially, she's like, I'm gonna kick you off the safety patrol if I have to talk to you again about something like this. I went back in the classroom, I started crying, sitting in my seat, and my friend's like, oh, what's wrong? I was like, she talking about kicking. It's just like, oh my God, you idiot. It's nothing to cry about. I felt it. Definitely an instance I wish I could go back and just kick my own ass. It's like, you're such an idiot for crying about. There's just many examples of crying like that, and it's just like, I regret it so much. I was like, I guess at that time I'm okay with the fact is that I cried so much. Maybe that's why one of the reasons why I'm very reserved now. I don't cry that often now is because I'm like, I don't want to be judged. You know, maybe it's because I was like, because I have such a bad like retrospect on like me crying as a kid that I'm just like, I don't want to do that as an adult. Yeah, there have been plenty of instances where I've cried as an adult, some very sad moments in life, as well as the time I fractured my ankle. You know, those times are understandable to cry, but I think other times like that is like where I kind of pull myself back. I mean, hell, I even find myself crying at TV shows sometimes, and you know, I don't feel bad about that, but it's just like, for some reason at those times, it's like, those are the moments I just kind of like clench my fist and like grip my teeth. I'm just like, oh, I hate, those are the type of memories that come back that like, well, like I could be laying in bed, they hit me, and I'm just like, oh, shut up, brain, shut up. It's nothing to kind of flip out about, but it's just one of those things I just don't like thinking about, and it's just like, I can't believe that was part of my life at one point. My question to you is, did you cry a lot when you were younger? Like, was it just kind of like, oh yeah, I cried about everything, but it's understandable because I was a kid? Or were you like me and you cried a lot up past the point that you shouldn't have been crying? Like, I mean, crying about every little thing, like everything going wrong that you like, every little thing going wrong you cried about. Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know that I am not the only one. But that's really all I want to talk about in this video. So the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.